Greetings and welcome to the Casual Wargamer. When 9th edition dropped, we were introduced to a new narrative format within its hallowed pages. Crusade was the new narrative where you could take a starter force and slowly build it up whilst playing against your friends doing likewise. The system worked by rewarding experience points to units having played the game, with a couple of extra things like being marked for greatness, gaining and removing permanent injuries or negative effects, plus the addition of new narrative relics for your characters. Add to that, this is where your narrative missions come in for a better gaming experience. All in all, Crusade was a very fun style of play, but it is not without its detractors among the community, and it does have some small flaws. Crusade uses power level over the points that match play uses as a means of keeping things simple. Players don't like power level though, as it does not take into account the difference between, say, a heavy bolter and a las cannon. There is also the same problem that if one player's army consistently wins games and keeps improving over other armies, it can become a little unbalanced. It does work if you play for the fun and not competitively as intended, but competitive play, from my experience, has unfortunately creeped into Crusade, and it does make a difference. Even so, I really enjoy Crusade games. I find it highly enjoyable, and slowly you can add your entire army to your roster. Technically, I suppose, I find it more enjoyable than regular match play. However, in the last 2 years, since 9th edition hit the shelves, Games Workshop has done almost nothing to expand upon the Crusade mechanic. We had a couple of campaign books for Pariah Nexus, Octarius, and one whose name I forget, between Death Guard and Mechanicus, but they haven't really supported Crusade with proper materials. What Games Workshop need to do is put out a decent series of expansions for the Crusade format, and I don't mean specifically war zones like they have done. If you look at the source books that have been released for Necromunda, you'll see what I mean. We need a nice hardcover book or two that includes errata to balance out a few things, options for playing with points rather than power level, the relics and upgrades from those old narrative books like Pariah Nexus, rules for creating our own HQ characters, and a host of new narrative missions. Something to keep it interesting as you go forwards. Crusade really feels, however, like it has been abandoned and left for dead. It feels like an afterthought that has been forgotten in favour of standard competitive play, which obviously does make more sense. It makes money for the company. I think some of this is because they probably didn't expect people to try and play it in place of regular games. I fully imagine that it was expected to be something played a few times and then put to one side, and if so, that's a real shame. With some proper thought out expansions, we could see Crusade set up and expanded upon like we see Necromunda has been over the last few years. If you haven't tried Crusade, I heartily recommend you give it a go. Leave your usual match play expectations at the door and play for fun. I can almost guarantee that you'll have a much better series of games telling the story of your own personal Crusade. Let's just hope that Crusade as a format won't get left behind with the release of 10th edition this year. What are your thoughts on Crusade? Do you agree with me? Has it been largely forgotten, or should it not be expanded upon, with match play being the dominant format? What are your thoughts on Crusade itself? I'd love to know. Drop your comments in the section below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and a subscribe. It really will help the channel grow. Thank you. I look forward to seeing your comments. Until next time, take care and good gaming.